WWE Survivor Series.
Alright, what is up, you guys? I am here with the Survivor Series 2005 review. Now, this one's kind of mixed. You know, I've seen a lot of people really like this pay-per-view, and I've seen a lot of people kind of trash it. I really like this pay-per-view. This is one of my top 5 favorite Survivor Series. And, you know, it may not be the best time for some people. A lot of people didn't like the Ruthless Aggression era. But I'm a huge fan of the Ruthless Aggression era. I thought this was a great time for the roster. Yeah, this is nowhere near as popular as the Attitude Era was. Like, that's the peak. And this is kind of, you know, the slow afterburn. But at the same time, I think this is a solid pay-per-view. We had, let's see, Chris Benoit versus Booker T for the United States Championship of the match 1 of the best of 7 series matches. I always really like this. It makes it feel important. You know, I feel like nowadays, if they did a best of 7 series, which I think Cesaro and Sheamus were the last ones that did it, I feel like people would just lose their attention. You know, this is an age of low attention spans and, you know, instant gratification. Whereas this, you have 7 matches to build off of. You can really take your time. You can work it out. And I thought this was a solid first match in the 7 series. And then we have Trish Stratus versus Molina for the Women's Championship. It's kind of a throwaway women's title match. It was kind of obvious. Of course, Trish Stratus, wow, I can't talk. Of course, Trish Stratus was going to go over. Then we have Ric Flair versus Triple H in what I would say was match of the night by far. Like, it's not even close. You know, Ric Flair, Triple H, they had a steel cage match at Taboo Tuesday, which I thought was really good. And, you know, this just added to this rivalry. This was an epic match. I feel like maybe, though, it went a little too long, to the point where it just kind of felt, you know, badly paced. But this was a great match. You had everything. You know, you had the blood, you had the sledgehammer, we had chairs, steel steps, we had everything here. And this was kind of also a slow burn. You know, I give them credit for that. You know, they took their time to build it up. I just think maybe it could have ended a little sooner. But this is by far match of the night. And there was a point in this match when I was rewatching it, I just got chills because of how epic this was. You know, Ric Flair kept getting back up. And, you know, of course, Triple H gets the win here. You know, I think it took like 3 pedigrees. But, you know, this was a phenomenal last man standing match. And I'm not even a fan of last man standing matches. I never was. So, for me to highly, highly enjoy this one, that's saying something on their part. Then we have special guest referee Daivari. For the WWE Championship, we have John Cena versus Kurt Angle. I don't know. This was okay. Solid 3-star match. You know, nothing beats some of their other matches they had together. You know, even, you know, in 2002 when John Cena made his debut. You know, we had Unforgiven 2005. They had a good match together. I just feel like this was just kind of I think it was brought down by the inclusion of Daivari. I was never a fan of special guest referee matches either because they just feel overbooked and like bad WCW angles. But it's still a decent WWE title match. And, you know, we had on this pay-per-view Eric Bischoff versus Theodore Long. General manager versus general manager. Now, I'm a huge Eric Bischoff fan. When he was general manager on Raw. And, you know, he was on his way out. He got let go in December of 2005. So this was right before that. And honestly, really nothing much to say here. Wasn't a fan of this. I just think it kind of makes a mockery of wrestling. But that's kind of how I always feel whenever you have non-wrestler wrestling matches. You know, I hate when you bring celebrities into it. Fuck Crown Jewel. It's all celebrities this year, but You know, when you bring the general managers into it, it can make for a decent storyline, some comedic moments, but I'd rather just see a good wrestling match instead of this. And then we have your main event, which was Team Raw versus Team Smackdown. I'm going to read you the list of wrestlers that were in this match, and it's epic who all you have here. We have Shawn Michaels, Kane, Big Show, Carlito, and Chris Masters versus Batista, Randy Orton, JBL, Rey Mysterio, and Bobby Lashley. You have some real star power in there, except for Bobby Lashley. But, you know, even the inclusion of Carlito and Chris Masters, I love them as a tag team. I thought they did really well together, and it really amplified both of their careers. And, you know, you had a really strong showing from both teams. You know, Batista was injured, if I'm correct, so he didn't have much of a in-ring involvement. But we had your sole survivors being Shawn Michaels and Randy Orton. And then JBL goes to hit Shawn with the chair and causes a distraction. Randy Orton gets the RKO for the win. And then, you know, the entire roster comes out. They're congratulating him, holding him up in the air, kind of like a WrestleMania 10 Bret Hart moment. Then you hear the gong. We have the return of The Undertaker. The Druids bring out the coffin. You know, the lightning strikes it, lights on fire. Undertaker comes out of the coffin in epic fashion. And Randy Orton's like scrambling, trying to get down from everybody. And it made for a cool moment. And he really sold being scared. I'll give Randy Orton credit there. I'm a huge fan of Ruthless Aggression era, Legend Killer Randy Orton. And this is a good example why. You know, he sold this like there's no tomorrow. You know, Cowboy Bob Orton was out there as well. And this is kind of famous because Undertaker came out, pretty much derailed the entire roster. And Matt Hardy literally just gets out of the ring and walks away. And if I remember correctly, he got in trouble for that. Because he just no-sold all of this. Can't really blame him, though. I mean, he didn't get on the Survivor Series card. And he's just supposed to, you know, go down in a worthless fashion. So, give him credit there. And this was right after his rivalry with Edge. So, he was still red hot. So, overall, I really enjoy this pay-per-view a lot. I may enjoy it more than it actually is worth. So, for that being said, I'm going to give this pay-per-view a B+. I love the main event. Great in-ring action. One of my favorite 5-on-5 Survivor Series matches. And kind of underrated. You know, go back and check this one out. So, you know, you had some ups, you had some downs, but I think it really balanced out very well on the positive side. So let me know your thoughts down below of this pay-per-view. For now, this has been the DVD Freak. Peace out.